Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Dives, Mr. Crockpot on X. Today is part 5 of my top 50 players in the 2025 NFL Draft. Guys, if you love the draft and you want more draft content, you know what to do. Smash that subscribe button. Let's go! All right, let's wrap this up. Number 41, wide receiver Matthew Golden out of Texas. Matthew Golden is an excellent separator off the line of scrimmage and shined the brightest in 2024 during the biggest stages, including SEC play and the college football playoff. Golden's bread and butter is winning against press or soft coverage thanks to his initial quickness, foot speed, and body control. Golden is a solid route runner and dominates as a screen and vertical receiver. Despite only being 6 foot tall, Golden has great elevation skills at the catch point and thrives at adjusting to back shoulder targets and underthrown fades. In the run game, Golden is not a notable factor. He has a ton of room to grow in this area, and he also brings some value in the return game. Overall, Matthew Golden would benefit from playing predominantly on the perimeter to avoid run-pass tells and allow him to run off coverage instead of being a primary player attacking the core. Coming in number 42 in my rankings is edge rusher Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State. Listed at 6'5" and 260 pounds, Jack Sawyer is an imposing edge defender who watched as teams ran away from his side of the field in many games. He has a good blend of size, get-off, and power to give O-lines trouble when he gets ahead of steam. As a pass rusher, Sawyer has the strength to collapse the pocket on a consistent basis. He also has a good motor to get coverage sacks and will get his hands up to bad passes at the line of scrimmage. Setting the edge and stopping the run is his greatest asset. Negative-wise, Sawyer isn't a high-level athlete, which is going to limit how many tools he has in his pass rush toolbox. He isn't going to win with speed around the edge at the next level, and he doesn't have much twitch and athleticism to be effective when working finesse moves. Overall, Jack Sawyer is a great run defender who shows flashes as a pass rusher, but still needs some refinement going forward. His ability to impact on early downs will make him a viable rotational piece in the NFL. Coming in number 43 in my rankings is defensive tackle Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State. Tyleik Williams is a stout run defender who has flashed the ability to take over periods of games for the Buckeyes. With a firm punch and good instincts for playing at the point of attack, Williams feels like a high floor player at a minimum at the NFL level. At his best, he's got plus quickness and agility for a player of his stature and has flashed the ability to get in the backfield as a penetration run defender and pass rusher. As a pass rusher, he has surprising twitch, and some of his older tape shows even more agility and burst, so a team will have to make a decision on a playing weight for Tyleik Williams based on the role they envision him being best at. Right now, I've got a solid day 2 grade on Tyleik Williams, and I'm excited to see how he looks during the upcoming combine. Coming in number 44 in my rankings is quarterback Shedeur Sanders out of Colorado. Shedeur Sanders projects as a traditional pocket passer in the NFL. He's a rhythm passer with good touch, average mobility, and excellent field vision. He can hit throws on all 3 levels and has good enough arm strength to hit them all in stride. Sanders has good anticipation, accuracy, and a knack for coming up big in big moments. He has no problem layering the ball over the middle of the field and throwing to spots where his receivers can run through the catch point. He's also borderline elite in the red zone. Among college passers with at least 500 total pass attempts since the start of 2023, Sanders ranks in the top 3 in all FBS passers in passing efficiency and completion percentage in the red zone. I think that speaks volumes about his urgency as well as his ability to quickly process the field. Negative-wise, he needs to improve when under pressure. He must do a better job of avoiding negative plays. I think he's at his best in the NFL in an offense that features a quick strike passing attack where he can get the ball out fast and in rhythm rather than working outside of structure. Sanders does not possess an elite arm. He relies more on timing and ball placement than velocity, and he's also not a dynamic scrambling threat. Right now, I expect him to be drafted in the top 10 due to the lack of talent at the position, but big picture-wise, I would have him behind Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, and Drake May if we're being real. All right, coming in number 45 in my rankings is wide receiver Xavier Restrepo out of Miami. Xavier Restrepo thrives in the controllable elements of his position. He isn't a player who can bank on natural size or raw explosiveness, and as such, this is a guy who's carved himself a path by becoming a straight-up technician. He's got perhaps the best pure blend of route running and hands in this year's class, and it just so happens to come in something of an unassuming build that lacks the kind of true mismatch potential that the elite impact receivers can pose to opposing defenses. Restrepo is plenty quick, but he's more sudden than explosive. He's at his best in the slot, putting defenders in the middle of the field in a blender and creating separation. He's got eyes in the back of his head coming out of the catch point when running sit routes and shallow crosses, and I've got a back end of round 1, early round 2 grade on him. This is easily one of my favorite receivers in the draft. Coming in number 46 in my rankings is linebacker Chris Paul Jr. out of Ole Miss. Paul played in all 12 games for the Rebels this season and had a team-high 88 tackles. Paul doesn't carry the same name recognition as guys like Barrett Carter, Deontay Lawson, or Danny Stutsman, but there's a solid chance he goes ahead of all three on the draft's second night. Paul is a fluid, speedy linebacker with flashes of brilliant anticipation fitting the run. His springiness helps him sift through blockers as he works downhill until he can find a clean line and uses his closing burst to reach the ball carrier. Paul's loose and explosive movement skills translate in coverage where he can drop into zone and read the QB's eyes to undercut throwing lanes. His athletic advantage also helps him take on man coverage assignments against running backs or tight ends running wheel routes, rails, or short routes to the flat. Paul is still developing his instincts in coverage as well as his ability to shed blocks, but his raw athleticism and flashes of next-level playmaking hint at a future NFL starter. Coming in number 47 in my rankings is linebacker Danny Stutsman out of Oklahoma. Danny Stutsman is just such a fun watch. The urgency which he plays the game is exactly what you're looking for out of a leader on defense. Stutsman's effort pops off the screen, and his ability to cover outrageous amounts of grass should not be taken for granted. He isn't just a dog chasing cars. Stutsman has showcased the necessary processing abilities to develop into an NFL starter and work to attack creases and gaps in the run game. He projects as a starting Mike linebacker at the NFL level. He has enough length and burst to play on the edge and pressure packages for further passing down value, but he will be best served in a zone-heavy defensive system. Much like 2024 third-round pick Peyton Wilson, Danny Stutsman is a massive, hulking figure who flies around the field. Stutsman is 6'4" and 241 pounds, but has the straight-line speed that wows evaluators. He's a true middle linebacker, but there are some concerns about his coverage abilities and his missed tackle rate. His fluidity in space is more concerning, but I expect Danny Stutsman to be one of the best value picks come day 2. Coming in number 48 in my rankings is linebacker Carson Schwesinger out of UCLA. Carson Schwesinger is an explosive linebacker with tremendous instincts and feel across the board. He was a one-man wrecking crew for a disappointing Bruins squad in 2024, and he looks simply incredible going downhill, attacking the QB, and wrapping up backs behind the line of scrimmage. Schwesinger is a modern linebacker who sports a missed tackle rate of less than 8% and brings an impactful blend of wrap-up ability and explosive collisions. He's got 3-down upside at the next level due to his ability to win as a blitzer and dominate in zone coverage. He's a smooth athlete who looks best in zone and possesses enough length and burst to crowd the catch point and sit routes over the ball. He's not the biggest or the strongest, and he's only got 1 year of top-notch production, but what he lacks in mass, he makes up for with plus movement skills. Schwesinger projects as a starting Mike linebacker for an NFL defense to be a dominant middle-of-the-field defender. This guy's draft stock is sky high right now, and I wouldn't be shocked to see him blow up further during the combine. Coming in number 49 in my rankings is defensive back Upton Stout out of Western Kentucky. Upton Stout is an undersized yet feisty defensive back from Western Kentucky who brings outstanding twitch and competitive fire to the table. At 5'9" and 182 pounds, Stout compensates for his lack of size with smooth athleticism, quickness, and versatility. A standout performer with the ability to play both outside and in the slot, Stout projects as a dynamic nickel defender with additional value as a blitzer. In coverage, he's a fluid and twitchy athlete who excels at staying in phase with the receivers. He displays excellent hip fluidity and transitions smoothly without wasted movement, enabling him to match receivers stride for stride. His biggest knock is his lack of size, and his smaller frame occasionally limits his ability to consistently bring down bigger ball carriers. Upton Stout was also one of the biggest Senior Bowl winners. While his lack of size may limit his effectiveness against taller receivers, Stout's competitive nature and versatility should allow him to make an impact on defense, and I think he's a major sleeper in 2025. Last but not least, number 50, offensive tackle Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. Josh Simmons has some of the best footwork and range of any prospect at his position. When it comes to pocket range, footwork, and technique, left tackle Josh Simmons is the complete package. He has explosive pass sets and light feet to slide up the edge with speed rushers. His recovery range allows him to take deep sets but still neutralize inside counters. During previous years, his footwork was a little frantic and unbalanced, but this year he's significantly improved. Simmons was enjoying an explosive coming out party in 2024 before a season-ending injury cut his time in Columbus short. The good news, if you're projecting him forward, this is a pure left tackle and there's not a lot of them in the 2025 class. The foot speed, pass set variety, and mirror skills are all tailor-made for playing on the edge. All right, guys, those are my top 50 prospects in the 2025 NFL Draft. Do you agree or disagree? Did I miss anybody? Let me know down in the comments section below. Again, parts 1 through 4 are all in the description down below. Thank you everyone for watching. Stay awesome.